Our water system is under pressure. Water scarcity, flooding and pollution are rising, and there isn't enough water for all new homes.
By 2050, as a nation, we'll have a deficit of around 5 billion litres of water a day, and we have to build houses that are more water efficient and more resilient to flooding in the future.
There's a general shortage of water already. Developers are finding that they're being asked to meet higher standards of water efficiency, or there are restrictions. Wastewater and sewage capacity has become an issue in certain areas, and that's constraining the development pipeline.
So the challenges that we're currently facing is capacity, on discharging and potable water. So we feel that rainwater harvesting is part of the solution with that.
We face a number of challenges in the northwest with respect to high rainfall and surface water management, but we've had below average river levels that's impacted our supply and demand as well. Coupled with the growth in housing, water is seen as not having the same challenges as other aspects such as energy and other environmental factors.
We have a government laser focused on growth, 1.5 million homes that need to be built, and we need to do that in the most sustainable way possible.
Rainfall that lands on the site is managed in a way that enhances that environment or potentially helps to feed as a resource for that environment. One where people understand or have a bit more affinity with the water cycle, and that the infrastructure is in place to enable that.
Something that actually joins up the water cycle. So thinking about water efficiency, water availability, wastewater, surface water, trying to leverage those opportunities for multiple benefits, whether it be for public, whether it be for developers or water companies.
For me, it's about hearts and minds. So it's about how people interact with place. So I just want it to be normal. I want people to know what they're living with, and they know how best to utilise it, and they're proud of it.
The community has to be involved in the design and development of that community, and also has to be involved as stewards of the water resources within that community.
Water Smart Communities is about being a space for new kinds of collaboration, for talking across sectors in ways that we haven't for quite a while.
It's where customers, the water company, housing developers can all come together collectively and actually put water at the heart of what the community is doing in terms of using it.
Enabling water smart communities is identifying actions that unlock progress. Through collaboration across sectors, we're removing the barriers to mainstreaming water smart communities. We've brought the water and housing sectors together and convened workshops to understand challenges and solutions. We've carried out analysis to understand the costs and benefits associated with community rainwater harvesting, water reuse and sustainable drainage. We've developed tools and guidance on delivering water-smart housing. We've explored community models for asset maintenance and stewardship, and researched public perspectives and engagement. We've drawn lessons from water-smart community pioneers and shared our findings along the way.
It's been a fantastic journey. I thought it was a really great project. As I said, we planted the seed and get it to grow.
We didn't just produce a development site, we tried to systematically unblock all of the different issues around that we were seeing why there were barriers to this.
So achievements include providing a raft of evidence and practical measures for developers, as well as the evidence to enable government and regulators to put the necessary policy changes to unblock the current barriers.
It's all information that can help, myth bust some of the barriers that people put up.
Any outputs that the project has had that relate to how to do things well, how to overcome potential design challenges, what to think about when you're designing to try and meet objectives in the water management field has been very useful. So very supportive of that kind of work.
I think it's the coming together of a lot of expertise and pulling together some really good resources and publications which have been built from a good number of experts, and disseminating that out into the industry. And I think that will really be a sort of game changer for the industry.
Through the programme, what we've managed to do is provide multiple evidence for multiple different stakeholders and actors, and that's when people start thinking, oh, actually, there is a need to do certain things differently.
Over the last couple of years, it's been quite incredible actually in terms of how much this project has grown and the awareness of this project.
I think it really has raised the issue of water up the agenda in terms of housing. We are seeing water now referenced far more in conversations, in conferences, at developer conferences, and also with the government as well. So I think that's been a massive achievement of the project.
So being able to communicate and get stakeholders to understand those challenges, I think, has been really, really important.
Having all the right people in the room, having the decision makers within each organisation.
It's been really interesting to have a seat at the table in a project that wouldn't normally have that sort of voice for community. It's been a really exciting partnership, and it's something we'd love to see more of.
And I think one of the lasting legacies of enabling water smart communities is probably the relationships and the need to collaborate from early on in the project.
We've done some fantastic work already, we've got some fantastic outputs, but I don't want that to just stop. It needs to continue, it absolutely needs to continue.
We really do need to continue to take forward and to bang that drum and to start embedding all of those learnings and continue.
These insights that are coming from the enabling water smart community, so hopefully that will now trigger the government to look into elements that need to be changed to enable a larger uptake, and a safe uptake, of course.
It's the beginning of a broad-scale shift. The different views, values, actions that they're engaging with, and trying to build that in to our future water systems.
We get that evidence in front of the key decision makers so that water smart communities is just the thing that happens in new developments.
And I would like to see it supported with a water smart playbook where developers, housing authorities, housing associations, local authorities and the wider community can actually be involved in being stewards across the whole of the water cycle.
I would like to think that water smart communities will help to bridge that gap between the development industry and the water industry.
And if we want to see those kind of sustainable homes of the future, then we've got to keep that link between water companies and the housing sector. So we can't just expect a group of people to come up with policy and then expect some change without putting a community around that can actually do the doing. So it's really important in my mind that you have that support of senior stakeholders on a board, for example, that will kind of drive that kind of policy, and then a group of stakeholders across the whole sector. And that's not just water and house building, but that could include consultants and architects and all sorts of people that come together as a big community.
Government, developers, water managers, local authorities, designers, communities. We all have a role to play in water smart communities. Sign up and get involved in our future.